Reluctantly, I gave in to Tom's persuasion and decided to go to the party. He and his wife Mary had pushed and argued for days, saying it was time for me to rediscover the joys of life. I tried to explain that I wasn't ready for any social obligations, especially not a party full of happy couples. I was certain she would be there too, but all my objections seemed to fall on deaf ears. In the end, I gave in to Mary's relentless insistence, especially after she threatened not to leave my side all night if I didn't come. So I agreed, and there I was, sitting alone in a corner, just as I had feared, watching all the couples. Some were clearly happy, others seemed to be looking for connection. I wasn't the only single person there, but I might have been the only one who wasn't trying to mingle or talk to anyone. Many of the married guests were known for being particularly sociable. I'm not here to judge, I told myself, just saying how it was. Shortly after we arrived, someone pressed a beer into my hand. Strangely enough, I was still holding the same bottle an hour later. I hadn't taken a sip in over 30 minutes. Meanwhile, Mary was noticeably tipsy already. Now and then, guests would come by to say hello and ask how I was doing. I tried to make conversation, though the focus was never really on me. I've never liked talking about myself, and after everything I had been through, it felt even less appealing. Eventually, even those small talks faded away. Tom and Mary wandered off to chat with others, while I sank back into my chair. About an hour later, she entered the room. I saw her immediately and silently begged that she wouldn't notice me. I quickly got up and went to find Tom. I spotted him in the kitchen, laughing with a group of people I only vaguely recognized. He was in the middle of a story when I cut in. "Are you finally making your rounds?" he joked. "Tom, she just walked in. We have to go." He knew exactly who I meant. "Why? You've only been here an hour." "You know why? I can't do this." "Come on, man. I'm not leaving. And I'm not convincing Mary either. You don't have to disappear forever. Just let me drive you home, and I'll come right back." "No, we're not leaving. It's time to face it. You both live in the same area. You're bound to run into each other sooner or later. You have to learn how to deal with it. And tonight's the perfect opportunity." Damn it. I wasn't ready for this. A pleasant evening out still felt impossible after the divorce. I hadn't enjoyed social events since then. And tonight, I was a wreck inside. "Fine," I mumbled. "Just text me if you want to go. I'll meet you outside." "What are you planning to do until then?" he chuckled. "That's my plan," I replied quietly. The house was big, and no one was using the second floor. I turned around and went upstairs to the guest room that belonged to Pete and Stella, the hosts. I pulled a chair to the window, moved the blinds aside, and stared into the night. The sky was clear. The moon shone brightly, and the city lights dimmed the stars, but a few were still visible. I felt like a coward for hiding, but the divorce had hit me hard. I had truly believed I'd spend the rest of my life with her, Alicia Zimmerman. I was convinced that her feelings matched my own. Finding out the truth shattered me. Even now, 16 months after the final separation, I still wasn't healed. I hadn't really kept track of time. It just felt like an eternity. Then I got a message from Tom. "Time to go." I knew my phone was working perfectly, but I kept checking it every few minutes anyway, just to be sure. I wish I could say Connie and I had some extraordinary story about how we met. But the truth is, it was pretty ordinary. We both lived in the same dorm during our first year at university and met at some group event. I don't even remember which one. Neither of us was looking for anything serious back then. We were both still involved with other people. But by the beginning of our second year, those other relationships had quietly faded away. None of them ever brought us as much joy as we found in each other. From that moment on, it was just Connie and me, until it wasn't anymore. We had been married for 4 years when I discovered that what I once believed to be unshakable truth wasn't the truth at all. I worked long days, sometimes from sunrise to sunset, and often traveled for business, sometimes for 2 or 3 days at a time. But it all felt worth it. We were saving for a house. We wanted to start a family. That was the plan. I kept a photo of Connie in my wallet. Whenever I felt like giving up, I'd look at it, and it always gave me strength. I missed her. I didn't even hear the bedroom door open. I was lost in thought, watching the stars twinkle in the sky. I remembered how we used to spend nights like this, sitting in lounge chairs by the public pool, sipping drinks, talking about our future. It was almost ironic. And even when I heard her voice, part of me thought it was just a memory, until I realized it wasn't. "The view's beautiful tonight," she said. Surprisingly, I didn't flinch or turn away. I knew it was her, but looking into her eyes was too painful. "Still as beautiful as you," I said. Her voice wavered. She clearly hadn't expected a compliment. "You shouldn't say things like that, Henry. You're giving me hope, and that's not fair." I said nothing, just kept staring out the window. "Is that why you came up here?" she asked. "To avoid me? Do you still hate me that much?" "I never hated you, Connie. I hated what you did, but I never hated you." "Then why are you hiding up here?" "Because it's too painful to look at you, to see you, and know you're no longer mine." "That was your decision, Henry. I told you. I didn't want a divorce. I never signed the papers. You had to wait through the whole mandatory period. I told you I'd never sign anything that separated us." "That's where our views differ, Connie. In my eyes, it was your decision. And you made it the moment you chose to sleep with Mark." She took a deep breath. Maybe she was holding back a sob. But when she replied, her voice was calm again. "I guess that's a fair conclusion. Speaking of Mark, I noticed he's not here. I was never with him, Henry. At least not in the way you think. I haven't seen him since the night you caught us. We only spoke on the phone twice. I never loved him. I told you that. But you slept with him." "Yes, I did. I won't deny that." "You're saying it was my fault? Because I was always working?" "No. I'm just trying to explain why I made such a terrible choice. It was my fault. Completely. I was lonely. I missed you. And Mark. He just said all the right things. He fixed the garbage disposal while I was away," she added quietly. "He was there when I needed company. That's all it was at first. Yes, he was attractive, and yes, I felt something. But no more than I've ever felt for any man. He was just available. That's all. He wanted me, and I gave in. And I regret it every single day." "That's not trust, Connie." "No, it's not," she said. "You trusted me not to do something like that. And I broke that trust. I should have told you. I enjoyed it, and since you didn't find out right away, I convinced myself it wouldn't affect you. Or us. I made the same mistake again, and that's when you caught us. But the second time, it didn't feel as intense, or as fulfilling. It was satisfactory, maybe, but not enough to justify losing you. You probably don't expect me to say I feel sorry for you, or even for myself. And you're right, Henry. Like you said before, I made a decision. And now I have to live with the consequences. I'm not looking for compassion for the choices I made." I was speechless. Maybe she was too, because an uncomfortable silence filled the room between us. After a moment, I started to wonder if she was even still standing there. I turned my head to look. She was, staring at the floor, gently dabbing her eyes with a tissue. Damn. Even now, even in the middle of all this, she was as stunning as ever. I turned back toward the window. "So, are you seeing someone right now?" she asked. "Since things didn't work out with Misha?" "No. I've been on a few dates, but nothing serious ever came from it." "And what about you? Still throwing yourself into work?" "No romantic encounters lately. I haven't had much interest in your gender, Connie." "Turn around and look at me, Henry." "I'd rather not." "Why not?" "I already told you. It hurts too much." "And what exactly are you expecting from me, then?" she asked softly. "Henry, please, just look at me." I turned around and looked into the eyes of the woman I had once loved more than life itself. To me, she was still the most radiant woman in the world. I looked her over. She was wearing a short black skirt and a royal blue blouse. Simple, except for the low front slit that revealed she wasn't wearing a bra. I must have let my gaze linger too long, because she noticed. "No, I'm not wearing a bra," she said casually. Some things don't change. Connie had always had a sense of humor about her looks. She used to joke that she could still pass for a teenager. And honestly, there was a bit of truth in that. She never cared much about fashion. Comfort always came first. She only dressed formally when the situation demanded it. "I'm keeping it simple tonight," she said, a playful sparkle in her eye. That sparkle caught me off guard for a moment. Then I found myself wondering, why this outfit? Why tonight? Who exactly is that outfit for? I asked. "You're crazy," she said, grinning. "Oh, come on, Connie. Do you really expect me to believe that you just happened to show up here in that outfit, without knowing I'd be here? Henry, I knew you were coming, she said softly, stepping closer. Now you understand why Tom and Mary pushed you so hard to come tonight. And now I understand how you just happened to find my hiding spot, I added. In that moment, everything clicked. I realized just how carefully they had set this up, a whole evening designed to lead me into an emotional ambush. They'd stopped trying to convince me for months, but tonight, they weren't willing to accept another no. So this is one big production, I said. And for what? What are you hoping will come out of this? I want a chance, Henry. A chance for what, exactly? I came here tonight with 2 wishes, she said. First, I want you to come upstairs with me. We can call it love, or whatever you want. No strings attached. You're the only man I've ever truly loved, and it breaks my heart every single day to know that you weren't the last man I was with. I miss that feeling, being close, feeling like I belong, even if it's just for one night. I could feel the sincerity in her voice. There was no manipulation in her tone, just honesty and pain. And the second wish, I want us to try again, to bring back what we once had, if you want that too. If tonight is the end, I'll accept it. I don't want it to be, but I will respect your decision. I'm still the woman you once fell in love with, the one you wanted to spend your life with. Maybe we're older now, maybe we're wiser, but I still believe there's something unbreakable between us. So I'm asking, can we try again? I'm not asking you to run off and marry me tomorrow, but I know you still love me. I can feel it, and I still love you more than anything else in this world. Yes, I made a mistake, but it would be a tragedy to destroy something that could still become a beautiful marriage just because of that mistake. I stepped toward her until only a few centimeters separated us. Neither of us said a word. We just looked into each other's eyes, and in that moment, everything became clear. Without speaking, I reached out and gently stroked her hand. She trembled slightly, as if her whole body reacted to my touch. Did you expect this to happen tonight? I asked, smiling softly. I knew you'd be here, she replied quietly, and I wanted you to feel how much I've longed for you. She moved closer, and our lips met in a kiss that instantly transported us to another time, a time when everything was still okay. Her touch was calm, yet confident, full of longing and memory. We moved together as if nothing had ever come between us. Her clothes slid effortlessly to the floor, and soon my hands found their way over familiar contours. We made our way to the bed and lay side by side, quietly soaking in the silence, a silence more meaningful than any words. We became one again, bodies, breaths, and desire in perfect harmony. Later, as we lay there, she whispered, "It's been so long since I felt like I belonged to someone, like I belonged to you." In each other's arms, we shared warmth, memories, and a fleeting moment where time stood still. For the first time in a long time, everything broken felt whole again, even if only for a little while. "Thank you, Henry. You'll never understand how much this means to me," she said. There was still one thing I wasn't sure about. I had to ask. "Connie, can I ask you something?" "Of course. You came here tonight, just in case. If it hadn't gone well, and I had left, what then? I think we still would have needed to talk it through. But I think that conversation belongs in our apartment now." "Our apartment?" I asked. "Well, technically it's yours, at least until I move my things in," she smiled. "Do you really mean that? Please don't joke with me, Henry. If you're serious, I'll be at your door tomorrow with my bags packed." "I'm serious. Dead serious," I said. "I'll even help you move. But we do need to take time to think about this second chance. Talk about it properly." I grinned at her, and she grinned right back. Finally, everything felt right again. I had never stopped loving her, never stopped missing her. We lay there for a few more minutes before we got up and started searching for our clothes. Hand in hand, we left the bedroom together. Just as we were heading downstairs, I spotted Tom at the foot of the stairs, talking quietly with 2 people. I leaned in and whispered in his ear, "Mr. Lunk, I won't forgive you for this." He just turned to look at me, then at Connie standing beside me, then back at me again. "Yes, I can see this is going to be a terrible punishment for me," he said with a smirk. "We're still on for bowling tomorrow night. Bring Mary. We'll play doubles." "Sounds good," I replied. Let me know if you need help bringing Connie's stuff over. As I turned to walk away, I looked back at him. How the hell do you know me better than I know myself? He just laughed. Damn it, Henry. Just call. We'll bring her things over. I could only smile and nod.